Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the BFNL Netball Show for another week, another fantastic week of netball action coming your way with all the news, views, previews, reviews, and we're going to try and sell some stuff, and we'll probably bag a few people on the way through. Sean Kelly's my name. This is Matt Wiltshire, my co-host every week on the Netball Show. Welcome, mate.
Thanks for having me back, mate. Always a pleasure.
Always happy to have you in. Now, last week we spoke about, obviously, our SC Technology Player of the Month, Cass Peace from Redan. Presented her with her award on Saturday. Gave her the tablet. She was absolutely stoked to receive it too, I might add. So,
yes, it should be.
Well done to the guys at SC Technology Group, because they're making netballers happy all across the Ballarat Football Netball League, which is a fantastic thing and not an easy thing to do sometimes. But let me contrast this for you. The last time I made a presentation of a tablet for an SC Technology Group Player of the Month award was Mel McCauley. She won it in May. I gave her tablet before a game. She then went and dropped 92 goals on Bacchus Marsh in probably the most dominating performance of the season to date.
Yep.
Gave Cass hers before last Saturday's game against Darley. Redan proceeded to go out and stink up the joint against Darley and lose a game that they were red-hot favourites in. So there's a little bit of contrast in between the presentations for the awards. So, of course, Emma Ryan received hers on the show live early in the year. So I might just have to tweak the way that we present these SC Technology Group Player of the Month awards going forward after Redan's just no-show after we gave Cass her award.
Yeah, a bit up and down, obviously. I think must be next month's winner's going to have a fantastic game after it. So
yeah.
Next one's definitely the one you want to win your comment and have a very dominant performance.
People left, right and centre coming on board to plead their case for the SC Technology Group Player of the Month award as well. You've had a couple during the week. We've actually got a BFNL Netball gesticulating furiously when we said that, just off camera at the moment. One of Sebastopol's favourite daughters and one of our Netball Show favourites in Rihanna Banner, who dearly wants to win that award but ain't going to. So it's up for grabs once again soon, but we'll talk more about awards later on because we're going to jump straight in to the action from last weekend. Bacchus Marsh hosting East Point, and it was a solid win to the Roos, 68-19 up at Mattingley Park. Lauren Atkinson, Monica Van Dyke and Lauren Dew, the better players for East Point on the weekend. Jackie Reid, Jamie Walsh and Michaela Hawken, also the better players for Bacchus Marsh. Very solid win by East Point on the weekend. Probably one that they needed, given that they'd struggled through the last couple of weeks going into this game.
Yeah, this game will give them a lot of confidence coming to this last third of the season, and they're now overtaken North Ballarat City on the ladder. So no longer on that sixth position looking to go out of the sixth. They're up into fifth, so give them a bit of a confidence
just on
going
percentage,
forward.
but
just
still.
on percentage, yeah, exactly. But give them a lot of confidence going forward, which is what they needed. Good to see Bopper's misses, or better half, I should say, getting the best. So
Bopper being Toby Boyle, of course, one of our colleagues here at AFL Goldfields.
So I've got to get him in whenever I can. So well done to Lauren, and look, it's just a fantastic win to East, and to move up position on the ladder, they'll be absolutely wrapped with that, and it's a big win. And Bacchus Marsh looks still a developing side, so that's still a 49 goal win over them's a fantastic effort, especially in the conditions the weekend.
It is indeed, and it sets up East Point, who have got a reasonably good run for the rest of the season nicely, to make sure that not only they consolidate that spot in the top six, but try and push up into fifth, fourth, and avoid one of those top three teams in the first week of the finals, which I reckon is going to be pretty crucial. Although, as we'll see later on in the show, that top three's just opened up a little bit, and there might be some space in for another side, being Lake Wendouree, who we spoke about needing to win a big game on the weekend. You got on board them. You got around the Lakers, and they did it for you.
Yep.
They got over the line against Melton, 32-31. Great win by Lake Wendouree. There were 2 goals separating the two sides at quarter time. Then it was a goal the difference at every break after that. Kapascan, 21 goals for Lake Wendouree, was fantastic. Madeline Gray for Melton with 25 goals, filling in, of course, for Melissa McCauley, who was absent once again through the school holidays. Best players for Lake Wendouree: Molly Boyle, Cara Hart and Kirsty Walsh. And for Melton, it was Brooke Thompson, Jacqueline Fogarty and Elle Bennett's. Really good game of netball, and Lake Wendouree started slowly. I watched the first quarter of this game, and they started slow, but eventually it looked like they were going to get on top. I left at quarter time. Lakers were up 11-9. They'd come over the top of Melton in the quarter. At that stage, it seemed like Lakers were pretty well positioned to probably go out fairly well and go out by 4 or 5 goals in the second quarter, but full credit to Melton, who really stuck with the game, and this was a fantastic game from all reports, and one that ebbed and flowed a little bit, and Lakers, lucky enough, just had their noses in front at the end.
Yeah, no, great win here by the Lakers against, as you said, I said last week, they needed to be one of these top 3 sides to just push themselves up there and give them a really good shot coming into finals, and they've done that now, beating Melton. Obviously, no Mull, which does make a fair difference. With Mull, it would have been maybe a different story down there in their attack, but it's a fantastic game of netball. To have one goal at the last 3 breaks is obviously a fantastic thing to watch. So well done to Lakers there. Set that end as a win and did tip them over Melton, and they've done me proud. So look out for the Lake Wendouree girls for the rest of the season. You
mentioned no Mel McCauley, but of course no Emma Burton, missing her first BFL game in 8 years, which was pretty soft, I reckon. But and also Katie Williams, who was running in a marathon on the Gold Coast or something over the weekend as well. So good chance to get out and see some sun. Well done, Katie. Good option, I reckon, given how the conditions were in Ballarat on the weekend. But look, really good win by the Lakers, and they're only a game outside the top 3 now. They've got a superior percentage to Redan in 3rd spot. So if things start going right for the Lakers, they could still work their way up into one of those top 3 spots that looked dead and buried a week ago.
Yeah, no, exactly. If they're getting them top 3 spots, as you know, it's where you want to be coming into the finals for them second chances. So.
Sebastopol taking on Ballarat on the weekend, and after a reasonably slow start, I know a couple within the Sebastopol camp were a little bit worried in the first half of this game that Ballarat were looking pretty good and were going to maybe give an upset, real upset of the season. Sebastopol stuck to their guns in the second half and really mowed it away from the Swans in the end. 56-26, good win by the Borough. 37 goals to Georgia Can, one of the best on court for Sebastopol, along with Caitlin Ashmore and Redan Banner. For Ballarat, Beth Van Rossum 10 goals, Jamie Matheson, Ellen Wirtz and Ellen Bowman named as their better players. Really good to see Maria Nunn come back into that Ballarat side on the weekend as well, Matty. Just adding that little bit more experience into the side to help craft some of the young girls, and it made a difference on the weekend.
Yeah, no, she's obviously a great asset to have around the club, and I was there for the second half of the game, and just watching her sort of talk to the younger players and give them that sort of experience and stuff that they don't really have was a fantastic asset for that team. And look, all credit to Sebastopol. Yeah, in the second half, Sebastopol just absolutely dominated. It was a really strong defensive game by Sebastopol. Every time it sort of went down in the Ballarat goals, they really did find it hard to score, and you could see that by Rhiannon Banner and Caitlin Ashmore, the 2 defenders, both getting the best players. So fantastic defensive effort there, and obviously some great players down defence to Banner, who's sitting beside me with a big smile on her face now. I've said that. It's
starting to happen a little bit down at Sebastopol now. They've won their last 2 games. They've put 2 wins together for the first time this season. They pushed Redan in the game before that. Got a huge game coming up that we're going to talk about soon, but they're starting to get on the right track, and if they can start to get a bit of a roll and they can win this week, there's some sides going to be looking over their shoulder to see who the Boroughs are playing in the second half of the season in this run to the finals as well.
Yeah, no, exactly, and they'll be really wanting to win these games to get up in that top 6, so look out for anyone that's facing Sebastian in this couple of weeks.
Congratulations to Julia Can as well, making her A-grade debut last weekend. 16 years old, playing in the Sebastopol A-grade side. A fantastic effort. Well done to Banner as well, just because she's sitting next to us. Sunbury taking on North Ballarat City in the grand final rematch on the weekend, and unfortunately for North Ballarat City, the game panned out pretty much like the grand final did last year, with Sunbury giving them a bit of a toweling in the end. It was 46-24 Sunbury win. That was without Sophie Gunn. Ruth Smith, 36 goals, really taking it to the North Ballarat City on the weekend. She was amongst the best players, along with Beck Moffat, and Hayley Mackey in her 200th game was fantastic as well for the Lions. Gina McCartan scored 12 goals on the weekend, and what was a pretty dirty day for North Ballarat City, given that Sunbury really taught them a netball lesson on the weekend.
Yeah, I thought it would have been a lot closer, obviously, the grand final rematch from last year, but Sunbury come out absolutely firing, wanting to prove a good point that they're going to want to repeat the 2013 form and go all the way to that grand final. So, very strong performance, and good to see that they could get a good win on the board for Hayley Mackey's 200th game. She's been a fantastic player in the BFNL, done interleague, won a grand final, things like that. So she's
one of best and fairest.
One of best and fairest, very highly esteemed player. So good to see that she's racked up her 200th game there, and hopefully a lot of more games to come.
Yeah, well done, Hayley, and well done to Sunbury. 24 goals to 10 in the second half to really get that victory steamrolled as well. Last game for the week, and what a result this was. This is one that we may have smelt coming, given some of the unavailabilities for Redan and the improved play of Darley in the last few weeks, but we didn't think that there was going to be a 10-goal result in the favour of Darley. 29-19, well done to the Devils, a strong victory. Steph Deutscher with 22 of those 29 goals was fantastic for Darley, as was their coach Leah Mathey defensively as well. Really strong defensive game, which I'll touch on very shortly. Ruby Parry, 13 goals for Redan. Emma Henry, Narelle Perkins and Cass Peace, the better players for the Lions. And not too many saw this coming, including the Redan players, who I know were it was a really uncharacteristic game for Redan. They were sloppy with their ball handling. Their shooting percentages were 25-30%. They had more shots than Darley on the day. They had more shots at goal and just could not convert them on the day. Not having Erin Riley and Amy Elliott in that side, it caused a bit of a ripple effect. Steph Deutscher started to get on top a little bit in the goals, and Redan needed someone at the other end to really get the goals in for them. You'd normally send Emma Henry down there, but the way that Steph Deutscher was playing, they couldn't take Henry off Steph because they didn't have the height. They just did not have any height defensively to put back on. It would have been a bloodbath if it had kept going that way. Just some really... It was un-Redan-like in many ways. It's probably the worst performance for the season by them for a long way. And it's one that I know Kate McMahon would have been really, really disappointed with. Other side of the coin, one of the reasons why Redan had their worst performance for the year was through the defensive pressure that Darley were putting on them. They were fantastic defensively. Leah Mathey played a really good game, and we'll hear from her in a minute about the game that Darley played defensively, but they were all over Redan at all ends of the court, and they really, really choked the life out of Redan on the weekend.
Don't really know what I can add to that. That was a 10 out of 10 in-depth conversation about the game from the weekend.
What do you expect?
Look at Shawnee go, Jesus Christ. But now Darley, they're in the same boat as Sebas. I don't know much about the game because I can't know anything else. But in the same boat as Sebas now, so 2 games out of that 6. So they also want to watch the rest of the season. And now they've knocked off Redan, who knows what they can do for the rest of the season. So it wouldn't be coming into any Darley game thinking it's going to be an easy win.
Well, let's find out, because we caught up with their coach, Leah Mathey, after the game on the weekend to chat about Darley's win. A bit unexpected, and the way that Darley's going to go forward for the rest of the season. So let's have a chat with Leah.
We're here with Darley coach Leah Mathey after the upset of the season, Darley defeating Redan. Leah, congratulations, a really strong win today.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was amazing. I'm just so happy that we come away with a win. We've had a couple of bad weeks, so it's nice today to finally come away with a win.
Really strong defensive game today. I thought you were forcing Redan to shoot from a long way out from goal and then really getting the rebounds when they came in as well.
Yeah, tight. Brooke and myself and the WD, which was Tanya on the ring, it just was great. So much pressure around that ring and in the ring, so we got those turnarounds and then down the court we went.
And through the middle of the court as well, pressuring Redan, pressuring the ball carrier, forcing turnovers as well, really helped you throughout the day.
Yeah, one thing I'm working on with the girls is arms up down the court, and it seems to be working. You know, that was one of the things that I think got us the turnarounds, was just arms over every single ball that was coming through the centre.
Earlier in the season we spoke a lot about being a bit undersized in the goal. Not so now. Stephanie Deutscher coming in, giving you another option in goal as well, and you've now got some height down there and it's really looking good.
Yeah, I think it's just amazing. I mean, before, if we didn't get the goal in, it was often turn around, whereas now we've got that height that we can get the rebounds if we don't get the goal in, and it makes a difference.
Sets the season up well, especially for a young side, when you've got some young players coming through the side as you do, to beat somebody like a Redan who's finals bound. I suppose that's really something that you can build on going forward.
Yeah, definitely. It gives everybody confidence. As I say, after a couple of bad weeks, our heads sort of got down, so beating a top team will just give us the confidence to go ahead in the last weeks that are coming up. So, and we're sitting nearly halfway, so it'll be nice.
Difficult climb to get there, but a win today still opens that little door for the finals, just that little bit if results go your way.
Yeah, like if we can still pull off some more wins towards the end of the season, I think the door will be open for us to just step in.
Congratulations on today, really strong win, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks very much.
Leah Mathey, the coach of the Darley A-grade netball side, a fantastic win by the Devils, and great to catch up with Leah once again. Second time this year on the netball show. The reason for that is because her co-coach Marika Barnes runs an absolute mile as soon as she sees me pull out a camera. So Leah gets dobbed in, but she's done a fantastic job both times we've had her on this season.
Well done to her.
Some awards this week, of course. Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week is an award that we award every week, and we looked at it this week, and we looked at the available players that have played well in the weekend, and we looked at the clubs we've given it to, and we've been through every club in the league. I think the only team that we've doubled up on was Sunbury so far, because we gave Sophie Gunn one earlier in the season. Of course, Lauren Gilchrist at her 250th game when she was fantastic as well. The only club that we hadn't awarded was Ballarat. A really improved performance, especially in the first half by Ballarat on the weekend. And one player stood out that played in a little bit of a different position on the weekend. She was freed up a little bit. She's been fantastic in the 19 and unders all year. She's been really good in the Ballarat A-grade side as well. That player's Ellen Wirtz, and she was the Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week for this week. So $25 Stockland voucher coming your way. Ellen will get Maddie to drop it off for you on the weekend. And I suppose part of the reason is as well because she was a Ballarat shooter that played on Banner, and we like giving Banner's opponents the voucher and not Banner, so that helped as well.
No, good to see Alan win. I know her really well, and she'll be absolutely wrapped with this award. And she's a fantastic young player who's got a bright future ahead. So she's still a young player playing A grade. So big future ahead for Alan.
Yeah, she's indeed. Great job, Alan, our Stockland Wendouree player of the week for this week. Now, Maddie, last week we had a fantastic memorabilia piece from our friends at Authentic Autographs that we spoke about. The Melbourne Vixens piece. Now, the one that we showed last week was the 2012 piece. So there's a bit of a pressure on us before we were selling it to actually get the 2014 piece on. Here it is. The 2014 Melbourne Vixens Premiership commemorative piece. What a fantastic piece this is. As you can see, they're all there. Marvellous piece. Last week we told you $120. We're going to stick with that once again. It's an absolute bargain because this is $200 anywhere you're lucky enough to find it. We'll give it to you for $120. As many as you like. If you want 5, you can have 5 at that price. Just don't go selling and making a profit on us if you can't. All the details on the bottom of the screen. Let me know. Email me, Sean at aflgoldfields.com.au. If you want one of these, we'll get one out to you. It is an absolutely fantastic piece. Great for presents. Great for hanging up in the pool room. Looks fantastic anywhere in the house. So that's the Melbourne Vixens piece that we've got going. We'll get that off the screen now, Maddie, and we'll concentrate on the good-looking people because it's time to talk about round 12 in the BFNL and this week's games and some interesting games coming up this week. Darley hosting Sunbury, and Darley the Giant Killers last week. A little bit tougher assignment coming up against the reigning premiers this week, who have a pretty strong side to choose from, obviously have a very experienced side. However, if Darley can bring the pressure that they did last week, they'll have themselves right in this game.
Yeah, Darley will be coming in with a bit of confidence after beating the top Redan side, but I think Sunbury are going to be too strong. They're one of the top side with Melton with a full when they both get their full sides in. Not knocking off Redan, they're still a fantastic side. Okay,
and the Lakers, who again you give no love to.
Well, they're still got a bit to prove, but you never know. Anyway,
cop that, Rumsey.
So Rumsey, but yeah, no, look, Sunbury are going to be too strong in this one. I think they're fantastic side. Had a big win over North last week, and they're really putting their foot on the competition as the leader of the. Really. Yeah,
Sunbury for mine as well. It won't be a blowout like it was last time when they played Darley. I just think Darley have really improved since then, and whilst it will be a completely different defensive structure than a completely different offensive structure that Darley will face up against this week, if they can bring that pressure, they'll give themselves a chance once again. But against the reigning premiers, I think Sunbury will just be too good, especially now that they've got a games break at the top of the ladder. They'll want to keep that as well. Next game this week, East Point taking on Ballarat, and another strong test for the young Swans against an East Point side they've played already this year, and the Roos will go in as fairly firm favourites in this one, Matty.
Yeah, they'll be looking to continue on with their winning streak, and I think they will pretty comfortably. They've got a lot of experienced players in there, some players with the pride, obviously, that come back with a lot of experience compared to a side of the Swans who have a lot of 9-under players in there. So a lot of difference in experience, and I think that's going to really show on the day with East Point getting over the line.
Yeah, East Point for mine as well. Ballarat on the improve every week, and we've seen that in the results every week. We're not just saying it to try and pump their tyres up. You're actually seeing that improvement on the court every week, but East Point will be a little bit too difficult for them this week to overcome. Lake Wendouree taking on Bacchus Marsh up at Wendouree Reserve, and this is another one where the Lakers can really try and get a win on the board, boost their percentage so that if that top 3 position does open up, they're going to be sitting there ready to take it.
Yeah, no, exactly. They'll be looking for a big win for that percentage. They're sitting in a good spot now. We're on the 4th on the ladder, so if they can keep winning as they are, and one of them top 3 sides sort of just slips down a little bit more, then Lakers will be looking to jump straight on it. So they'll be really looking for a big win, and they've got the home ground, and I'm sure they should get over the line comfortably against the Bacchus Marsh side.
Yeah, Lakers for mine as well. Love the way that the Lakers warm up before games these days as well. There's all sorts of little pushing stuff going on and lifting. It's Lisa Alexander was down taking the Lakers for training a couple of weeks ago, and Rumsey's basically stolen every one of her warm-up drills and said, we're going to warm up like the Diamonds, so let's do this. And look, it worked for them last week. They beat Melton with it, so good on you, Rums. Really good at working there. Melton South taking on Redan on the weekend. This, Matthew Wiltshire, is a real danger game for Redan. They missing Amy Elliott once again. They're missing Erin Riley once again. It all went to the water when that happened last week. Physicality of Darley won over. This week they come up against a Melton South side that play their home court very well, are a very physical side. And one I know, this game, Kate McMahon is very, very worried about how this is going to pan out because not having those defensive rocks there, Redan really need to get themselves back on the winners list this week.
We all know that Melton South could be a very, very good side. So if they play one of their top games this weekend, then there's no reason they can't beat Redan, especially with Redan coming off the loss. They'll be a bit worried about it. They'll be a bit scared coming in. So if they do drop this side, this is that chance for Lake Wendouree to get up into that third position. So there's only one game difference between them. This could be a big game for the rest of the season, sort of thing. What am I trying to say? To predict the ladder for the end of the season. That's what I'm looking for. So, look, I think Redan are going to be too strong. They think it was just a bit of a glimpse last week where they just didn't play as well as they could have, and it might be down to the conditions. I'm not too sure what actually happened on the day, but your in-depth discussion before probably said it all what happened on the day. But look, I'm going to go with Redan in this one, just in a very close game.
The other side of the coin, obviously, is that last week it probably took Redan a little bit by surprise how physical Darley came out and how much pressure they put on, and not having Aaron and Amy behind them, they probably panicked a little bit. They're going to be more prepared for it this week. They're going to have learned from their reaction last week, and I reckon they'll be better for it. Their shooting percentage needs some work. If they can get their shots in, it's really going to give them some confidence, because that's part of the reason why their confidence dropped. The ball kept getting in there. They just couldn't get it in. Get some early shots in. Redan will be fine in this game, I reckon. I reckon they'll win. Close game. It's going to be really, really close. I reckon it could be a 2-3 goal kind of margin. But I reckon Redan will have the character to get over the line and basically show the netball world that last week was just a glitch. It was a glitch in the matrix.
Correct.
It was indeed. Big game this week though. Match of the round out at Muddy Bush Reserve. Sebastopol taking on North City. Late game as well. It's a dual gate day out at Sebast, so it's an absolute feast of netball at the Borough this weekend. 3:30 start for this one. Crucial game, because as you said earlier, North Ballarat City dropped this. There's only a game between them and the Borough, who are starting to charge.
I am going to tip Sebast for this one.
Are you doing that because Rhiannon's in the room and gesticulating furiously at you?
No, I actually think, after watching their last half last week, they were such a strong side, and North they're not going to have much confidence at the moment. They've lost a few games they should have won, or been close in the last couple of weeks. So, and Sebast, this is going to be the one game they know that they have to win for this final spot. So they're going to be coming out all guns blazing and just trying to play the game of their life, whereas North City might sort of underestimate Sebast a bit, but they played them early this season.
Yeah, they have. It was a close game for much of it, but Sebastopol was at that stage when they were going through those costly lapses where they were kind of losing concentration for 5 minutes, and the game was going by the wayside because of it.
But they're starting to play their 4 quarters all well now, so I'm going to go with Sebast this one by their 3 goals.
Interesting this week, injury cloud over one of Sebastopol's key players, Libby Denuden, their centre court player who really structures up Sebastopol and is that link between defence and offence fantastically for the Borough. North City have been off the boil. There's absolutely no doubt about that recently, but Sebastopol, I said a few weeks ago, they need to win a big game so that they give me the confidence to tip them in these types of games. They haven't done that as yet. I don't have that confidence to tip them as yet. Rhiannon's about to hit me in the side of the head with something, because I'm tipping North Ballarat City in this game, who are too good a side to go through a prolonged form lapse. That's what I'm trying to say. I might actually speak English sometime on this show, but tipping North City to get over their form slump. But again, very, very close game, and if they put a foot wrong and if they lose concentration, Sebastopol are going to get them. There's no doubt about that, but North City just this week, and I think that's about all the time we've got for this week. Let's get out of here before Rhiannon tries to kill me after that last tip. Maddie, fantastic having you on the Netball Show once again.
Thanks everyone for watching.
And we'll be back again next week. Same time, same place, same channel here on the BFNL website. I've been Sean Kelly. He's been Matt Wiltshire. Rhiannon's been giggling in the background. And thanks to Alex producing the show for us this week. We're out. We'll see you next week.
Catch up.